And we're back.
It has been a minute.
Oh my goodness. I had his mic closer. I'm always giving Michaela crap about having a mic so close to her face that I'm always having to adjust her audio and other things.
Oh, there you go.
And here I was with the mic too far from my face. Hopefully you can hear me now. Can you hear me?
You're pretty loud, so I'm pretty sure everybody can hear you.
That's a good thing.
No matter where you are.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It has been a wild ride.
We have been busy.
And all that's going on, as I'm sure you have our listeners as well. It's been kind of a world, and you'll notice as this year progresses, our political landscape will just ensue chaos. And that chaos, you'll see it, will come through your life. And you're going to do one of two things. You're going to harness it and use that energy and do something magnificent, or it'll tear you down. It's going to do one of the two things. You can go off of this is the year of the wood dragon or all this other stuff. I mean, this year has 2024 has been wrapped in chaos for centuries. And here we are. It's happening. But what's that chaos going to do in your relationship? You're going to build it and make something magnificent and beautiful? Or are you going to make something chaotic, monstrous?
You get to
No
choose.
bueno. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
And that's really what we want to talk about today. It's one of my least favorite words.
I was going to say, your favorite topic.
I don't like this topic. This topic's going to fire me up. I want to say that now. I'm going to get all after it.
There you go. I'm ready for it. I know whenever this word gets said, I just laugh and look at you.
She internally giggles.
I do. Actually, I externally giggle because it's just so funny how much it irks you.
Irks me bad.
Well, Bradley, what is the word?
Triggered.
Are you triggered?
I hate the word triggered. It is such a weak word. Because in reality, triggered is just somebody not controlling their emotions. They're reacting to something, whatever it is. I was triggered. You trigger me. It's really just somebody being emotionally weak.
And not taking personal accountability, putting it on to someone else.
Exactly. Something happens. Person A does something. Person B doesn't like it and then says I'm triggered because they let their emotions run wild. Versus sit back, resolve the issue, whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, issues are just challenges, and challenges are designed to be overcome. It makes you stronger. It makes you better. And this word triggered was not really a thing 10 years ago.
No.
It's really been the leftist ideology that has really promoted the use of the word triggered by way as a scapegoat to get out of being emotionally weak and apathetic.
Or taking responsibility for themselves.
Yeah. So we see this all the time, and we have friends say, oh, my husband or my wife triggered me and this happened. Well, so didn't you think about the fact that you could have done something?
Or you chose to feel that. You chose that. You chose to have those emotions, to let your mind go in that direction. You can choose to stop those thoughts in their path, to cut the ties, cut the chains to whatever you're holding on to look at your partner in this moment and to have a conversation without all the emotions or the past traumas or whatever else that you are holding on to, and just listen with present ears.
It's so big. Communication, talking, but listening, receiving, and not just hearing.
It's
actually listening.
Yeah. One thing that we've talked about is, are you listening to respond? Or are you listening to actually hear what they're saying? Or are you just listening to respond?
Here's a really good cue. If somebody says something, your spouse, friend, whatever, and you have an immediate fire back, you've probably been listening to respond. But you listen to what they say, truly listen, digest it. There's going to probably be a pause, a silent moment while you got to compile your thoughts based off what they just said. If there is a volley back and forth of conversation, that means both people, by and large, are listening to respond versus listening to be heard. You should audit yourself on that. Audit how fast you respond to somebody, especially your significant other. They tell you something. How was your day today? It was great. How was yours? It was awesome. Sweet. How was work? It was busy. If you're just volleying like that, there's no thought there. How was your day today? How was my day? This happened, and that happened, and this happened. And versus and responding back with, oh, I'm so sorry, or that's awesome. Pause, think about it, and actually respond with conscious effort versus unconsciously responding.
On a side tangent, going along with that is listening to your partner and letting them vent or talk about their day or what they're struggling with. There doesn't really need to be a response. You don't need to fix them. You don't need to give them a reason. Yes, we can have a full episode on that fun thing. Actually, we probably will do an episode on that, on fixing.
Us dudes were fixers. Inherently.
Yep.
By nature, genetically coded to fix crap. Get the buffalo.
I literally have to tell him, I don't want you to fix me right now. I just want you to listen to me.
But why did we do that?
Because you were listening to respond.
I was listening to respond and or listening to fix.
Yeah, not actually understanding.
We had a conversation and said, you've got to tell me. Like, you got to snap me out of this caveman thing.
Wow.
Yeah, you like that?
Yep.
That was my
Good job.
caveman move.
That was a caveman?
That was caveman.
That was great.
And snap me out of that state, because that is going to be my natural response. And so when you are about to tell me something you don't want me to fix, you're just venting, you say, now, I don't want you to fix it.
Except we have had arguments about that before, because I will tell you, I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen. You're like, but that's what I do.
It's not an argument.
It was a strong disagreement.
It's definitely a disagreement because it is what I do.
Anyways, that's a whole nother tangent episode.
But triggering. So we've mentioned this situation a couple of times. We were carving pumpkins one night. We never actually touched this topic.
That's true.
And I was super bent on finishing this book because I had a goal to read a certain number of books a year. And I had to finish it that day to stay on target, to stay on task. And so I was listening to it while we were with the family. I had one earphone in listening to the book versus sitting down and reading it off by myself, which I shouldn't have done. And that really ticked off Michaela. So she was, by and large, we'll use the word, triggered, because I wasn't fully present. And then after that, I went upstairs and she had a long, busy day. She was with the kids. They were complete hellions, and they took all of her focus at all and didn't do the laundry. So I went upstairs to go do something. I was changing my pants or changing my shirt because I got some stuff on it. And I saw the laundry. And so I did the laundry to try and be of help and be of service. Well, I was ticked off, and we'll say I was triggered because the laundry wasn't done. And so I did the laundry, and in my own little stewing, I was sitting back and had to eat humble pie and think, why did this not get done? She told me she was going to do it. And that's why I was ticked off, because the night before she said, don't fold it, I'll do it tomorrow. And it didn't get handled. Life happened. The boys were rambunctious. And I did the laundry. Well, I shouldn't have done the laundry either. So I'm screwing up all over the place this whole night. And finally, we had a conversation.
And what's funny is you were upstairs. So we were carving pumpkins, and you had one headphone in, and this was our family time. And the boys, what frustrated me the most is the boys kept trying to get your attention and kept trying to like show you what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Dad, look at this. Dad, look at this. You literally were focused in on your pumpkin, carving by yourself, listening to your book while I'm helping them carve theirs. Didn't even get to touch mine. So I was like focused on them, helping them carve their own pumpkins and doing their own things. And you were in your own world over there. And the boys kept trying to get your attention. Be like, Dad, look how awesome. You didn't even face you. You didn't even look up. You didn't even see. And that was what first ticked me off. And I was like, seriously? You're kidding me? Like, you can't be present in this moment with us? But my bad in that moment. I let that build and I didn't say anything. I was so fuming inside and I didn't say anything until later that night. What if I would have, in that moment, said, hey, the boys are trying to get your attention. I would love if you could be present right now. I understand you need to get this book done. You can do it after if that's okay. I'd really like you to be here right now with the family. That probably would have changed our night.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just let it build and build and build, which as women, we let that happen and you get frustrated and you get pissed and you're so mad at your man because he's not doing what you think he should be doing in the moment, but you don't say anything.
Yeah.
You just let it build and build and build until you want to explode, and then you explode and he has no idea. And then later on.
I was oblivious to this.
Yes.
I was 100% oblivious.
Yeah.
So we were both individually upset over two completely different situations that were back to back.
And you were upstairs doing the laundry that I helped get the kids to bed, and I saw you were in the bedroom doing laundry, and I went downstairs and was cleaning up the whole pumpkin mess, and I was like, where is he? What the heck? So I'm downstairs pissed at you. You're upstairs pissed at me, and we're literally both fuming, and nobody's getting anywhere.
Over something stupid. And we end up discussing and talking about it. And here's the thing. Perception is projection. What are you perceiving? Like, what are you seeing? And then perception. I was ticked off at her because she didn't fold the laundry. She's ticked off at me because I wasn't present and not helping her clean up the mess. What are you perceiving? And then what are you projecting? Let's be honest. Michaela was most likely, I'm going to go on a just an assumption here, most likely perceiving seeing herself as our son and trying to get attention and not getting it.
100%.
And this is why she's so ticked off, because she's experienced this exact situation before and knows how it feels. And so she's getting really, really upset. She's perceiving this negligence and then projecting it out versus just nipping it in the butt and stopping the situation before it even moves out. And same for me. I'm perceiving something. My mom's greatest pet peeve growing up was dishes and laundry. So guess what my greatest pet peeve is today?
Dishes and laundry.
Dishes and laundry. I've received that and I perceive that and then project it when it doesn't get done. So I do it. Unwillingly sometimes, but I do it. What are you perceiving in your life? Then how are you projecting it? If you have an unresourceful state to anybody, you don't like somebody, you don't like something, doesn't matter what it is, you're perceiving something that's happened in your life and then assuming the situation to be the same or making it the same by your own doings.
Yeah. So especially when it comes to your partner, when you feel triggered by something that they are doing, when it sets you off, when you your blood just boils because you're so irritated by what they're doing or hurt or offended, whatever the emotion may be, pause, look at yourself. Look at what it's reminding you of. Maybe it's something they did in the past. That's not them anymore. They are here now in the present. Do not put on your partner and blame them or get mad at them now for something that happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago. Why are you bringing that up again? Don't put those emotions, that experience, that hurt onto your partner right now. Now, granted, if you have not processed and worked through that or communicated those feelings, whatever happened, you should definitely address that. But then you got to let it go. You can't hold on to that, or else it will affect your relationship the rest of your life. You cannot blame your partner for something they did yesterday or 2 days ago or 10 years ago. You have to let it go, or else the relationship will never strive.
The past, the past is the past. It's gone. And as we've said in this series before, one of our favorite quotes, what happened, happened, could not have happened any other way. Or what happened, happened, and could not have happened any other way because it didn't. That's the only way it could have happened, because if it could have happened a different way, it would have. Recognizing that, learning from it, and moving on. Because looking backwards will only do one thing. It'll bring depression. That's it. It can help build encouragement, but ultimately, if you just keep staring backwards, driving, looking in the rearview mirror, one, you're not looking forward. There's a reason your windshield's bigger than the rearview mirror. And two, it keeps you from being in the present moment, which is where true happiness actually lies. You really only do things in life for one of two things. You are either running away from pain or running towards pleasure. That's it. It's the only reason you do anything as a human. Which one are you doing? Most people are running away from pain. They're pain-driven versus pleasure-driven.
So I encourage you that if you still get frustrated with your partner about something they did in the past, you got to get rid of it. You got to work through it. You got to let it go. They are not that person anymore. You are not that person anymore. You should both be different people today than you were 10 years ago. So stop.
I sure hope so.
Right? So stop holding that over their head, a decision they made. We all screw up. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. But if you're always blaming your partner or always making decisions or having emotions about your partner based off of something that happened in the past, you will never move forward.
What she said. Understanding these emotional responses is one of the keys to have happiness within your marriage, happiness within your relationship. Recognizing that people that they're human. They're not faultless.
Heck, look at our pumpkin story. We are not perfect in any way.
That was one for the books. And yet it made us stronger because we resolved it. We've talked about it as we're sitting here kind of laughing about a situation where a lot of people, that probably would have stemmed a lot of things. Doesn't need to, doesn't have to.
And the key is we talked about it that night. We didn't let it build and build and build until one of us exploded.
No.
You have to talk about it that day.
Yep. And how important, as we always say, communication is. Where you focus, you find. It truly is the case. Where you place energy, that's what you're going to see in life.
And I promise, if you think about and you focus, just like you said, if you focus on all the things your partner has done wrong or could have done better or could have done different, if you focus on those things, that's what you will always find. But I encourage you to start looking every single day for the things that your partner does right. And I know that you will grow a stronger connection, more love for that person when you're focused on all the amazing attributes they have and everything they're doing right. Stop criticizing them for every mistake they make, for everything that doesn't go exactly the way we think it should go in our mind, and be grateful for the things that they do. Then you will start to fall more and more in love with your partner as you focus on those things. I can promise you that.
Yep. I concur. Nothing else to add. So, on that note, have this conversation with your friends, your family, your partner. Have them listen to this episode and then discuss those things that bother you, that trigger you, that you need to resolve, and what you perceive, or what did I say? Your perception is your projection. So what you perceive is what you project. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. You can find me on socials, Mr. Brad Draper.
And Draper Choosing Us.
Until next week, we love you guys. Bye.